Mike Myers' time on Saturday Night Live helped make him a household name, but it didn't come without emotional tolls. The Canadian comic, who would later go on to define a generation of comedy through Wayne's World and Austin Powers, recently opened up about the darker side of his early career, specifically how deeply affected he was when his sketches didn't make it to air on SNL. For Myers, rejection didn't just sting, it sent him into a tailspin. He described the experience as heartbreaking. Working for Saturday Night Live meant living in a pressure cooker, where every week was a new battle to make the final cut. If your sketch didn't get on, it felt like a part of you got rejected. Myers said in a recent interview, "I'd go into a depression. It wasn't just disappointment, it was personal." The environment at SNL has always been known for its brutal pace and high stakes. Writers and performers fight tooth and nail to get their material noticed, knowing only a small handful of sketches will make it to the live show. For Myers, who was still relatively new to the game and deeply invested in his characters, the emotional toll could be immense. He poured everything into his work, and when it was cut, it often left him feeling worthless. But there was one moment that changed the trajectory of how he viewed the entire process. That moment came from none other than Conan O'Brien, who was then a writer at the show. Myers recalls being crushed after yet another sketch he loved was cut. As he sat on the stairs backstage, staring into the void, Conan walked by and saw how devastated he looked. Rather than offer a generic pep talk, Conan said something simple but deeply effective. He just said, sometimes it's not about whether it's funny or not. It's about whether it fits that night. And I just remember thinking, that makes sense, Myers shared. That was the first time I realized that maybe I wasn't being rejected. Maybe it just wasn't the right time for that idea. It was a light bulb moment. Myers says that Conan's offhand comment changed how he dealt with rejection. It didn't make the process less painful overnight, but it gave him a new framework. It shifted the narrative in his head from "I'm not good enough" to "this isn't the right fit right now." That mental shift proved to be crucial not just for his time at SNL, but for his entire career going forward. Looking back, Myers now sees that those ups and downs were necessary. The years of disappointment, anxiety, and doubt helped shape the creative resilience that would carry him through Hollywood's ever-volatile landscape. Comedy is subjective, and SNL is a constantly shifting puzzle, he explained. Not every piece fits every week. That doesn't mean the piece is broken. He also credited SNL for teaching him a level of discipline that would serve him for decades. You write, rewrite, rehearse, and then sometimes it never even sees the light of day. That teaches you to let go, to move on to the next idea. That's a hard but valuable lesson. The pressure to be funny, topical, and original every single week created a kind of emotional whiplash that not everyone could survive. But Myers did, and he thrived, eventually becoming one of the most memorable alumni the show has ever produced. Characters like Wayne Campbell and Dieter from Sprockets didn't just make people laugh. They became icons of a comedic era. Still, that early vulnerability never fully left him. Myers admits he still feels nervous before sharing new material, still wonders if audiences will get what he's going for. But now, he handles it differently. "I've learned to honor the idea, but not marry the outcome," he said. "That joke you love might not land tonight. That doesn't mean it never will." As for Conan, Myers said he's always remembered that moment and remains grateful for it. "It was just one sentence, but it shifted my entire emotional relationship with rejection." It's a sentiment that echoes through the halls of comedy today, where new generations of performers still grapple with the same doubts and anxieties. For many of them, Myers' story might serve as a quiet reminder. Sometimes it's not about whether the sketch is funny or brilliant or daring. Sometimes it's just not the right night.